Well, I uploaded the last video. It's not weird how I said that video. I don't know how I said that, but it sounded cool actually to me. The way it rolled off my tongue. Learning new words, man. That's been difficult, but fun. That's another part of the channel. You guys will be learning a lot, especially once Margarita, is on the channel, which will be very soon. She's a trooper. She knows so much. That woman blows my mind how intelligent she is. So yeah, I'm up, I'm awake. I'm about to get started for the day. I'm up. So my routines, when I'm up this late, I stay up. What I'll do at 4 o'clock, I'll go rest. I'll rest between 4 and 7. It gives me 2.5, 3 hours to basically just close my eyes, that type of thing. Relax, and then gather everything, all my thoughts, and put together what it is that I have learned in those hours at night. I study. If I don't do prayer or yoga, I study this late. I find myself over all these years of computer work and programming and testing and traveling the world, and working for people and working for myself. I find myself remembering things more better when I work at night. I'm more efficient at night. I work quicker. I'm more when I develop computer programs, I do computers and stuff. I do this type of stuff. I'm more better at night. It's simply, that's just how it is. I'm looking for socks. I'm looking for certain socks. I found them. They say pro player on them. I'm really weird about socks, man, because I travel around the world. I'm on my feet 24/7, pulling people out, running in, socks are everything, dude. They have to breathe. You see how they have to breathe. Dry fit socks all the way. I don't care if they're name brand, non-name brand. I spend a lot of money on sport tech. And like non-name brand dry fit stuff. And socks. Socks, they gotta breathe. It doesn't have to be dry fit material like these ones aren't. What are you doing, Mentora? She was like she was about to pounce on me or hunt. What are you looking at? Use my girl. I gotta clean your nose. You got crusties. You're still sick. What? But yeah, these socks, these pro player socks, they work good. They keep your feet warm and they let you breathe. That's the whole thing too, is finding socks that let your feet breathe. That's the problem. That's how you get blisters. You get blisters because you're wearing socks that don't let your feet, your toes move, or breathe. That's one. Most of the time, people get blisters because they're not wearing the proper size shoes, or they're not, So that's another thing too. A lot of people, foot health. I recommend trying to keep your feet out of shoes as much as possible, and let them breathe. I recommend it. As far as shoes go, boots, you're going to have to figure out your own. Everybody's different. The best ones that I found comfortable-wise are the Timberland Pros. There's the Red Wing boots. I like those. I like the Red Wings boots better than the Timberland Pros. I just can't justify spending $300 on them, even with the warranty, even with the lifetime warranty. Listen, man, I'm not trying to spend $300 on boots, and then when my boots get all fucked up and nasty, take them up there to get them fixed. I'm gonna throw them out and go get new ones. After 3 years, I don't think my boot is gonna be repairable. You know what I mean? That's why I don't understand that's why I don't buy the Red Wings boots. People will disagree with me, and that's fine. Maybe you have a reason for it, then that's probably a good reason why you get them, you know? But for me, there's no reason for me to spend $300 on a boot. But the shoe, I will spend a lot of money on shoes. I have a thing with shoes. You don't need to eat anymore, girl, right now. You don't need to eat right now, girl. You get some treats. I'll give you treats. You get a couple treats. That's what you gotta learn, you know. I'll give you a couple treats. I gotta get foods in my stomach right now, actually. Now that I'm up and I'm moving around my stomach, I'm starting to get hungry. My metabolism's starting to fire up. Bear with me, people. I gotta get some hot water. But now my flash heater isn't hooked up, so those things are nice. You definitely gotta get one. I'm gonna be selling it most likely. I was thinking about keeping it, but I'm putting it in my sailboat, but I'm gonna go with a different style one. The one I have isn't gonna work good. I'll show you guys, but it's out in the garage. I don't feel like going out there. Alright, I need coffee. I'm gonna make my coffee before I sit down with smoke, grab the Bible, we'll read passage, that type of stuff. I gotta turn on the laptop. I gotta start looking up Chevy parts. You know, I haven't looked up anything really, and you guys, I'm on the phone recording, so I won't be able to look up Facebook Marketplace. I'll have to. Oh no, I can log into my laptop and do it. We'll figure it out. But I gotta look up, see what parts go with what. I gotta get a ballpark of what I gotta get and what I'm about to be spending. So I gotta get that done. I wish I had milk, but I don't have any. I was gonna go get milk last night and go back out, but it started raining, man, and I need to catch back up on sleep, man. Fucking with these cats. I was up for 3 days straight. Those cats really got a lot of attention from me. So, I need caffeine in my head. Why my head is going boom, 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 though, is because one, I'm not drinking enough water, two, I don't have any lime or lemon. That's why my head's pounding. Lemon lime will get rid of that grogginess, man. Will help you think clear. Your body doesn't have enough acids in it. You need that stuff. People's diets aren't. Nobody's eating enough fruits, lemons, limes. Everyone I know. Listen, there's so many people. Everyone I know isn't eating enough proper fruit. That's a little hot. Oops. Any hotter, that would have hurt. I would have have a burnt tongue all day. It still hurts. It's a little burnt. I wasn't expecting it to be that hot. Because I didn't put no milk in it. I'm used to putting milk in it. Dude, this Afghan punch, I gotta get some extra lighting. You guys gotta see this. I'm actually really impressed with this Afghan punch. It's a new strain they got. So Brought a flashlight. Gotta have that. So, I'm really impressed, dude, with this company, man. Listen, I've been smoking bud for a long time, man. I've been in the game a long time. I used to traffic weed. So I made a lot of my money trafficking marijuana from state to state, out of state to other states. Listen, I made a lot of money over the years. You know, trafficking drugs. Thankfully, I'm not in that game no more. So, I was really good at it, actually. I thought about getting back into it. But God wants me. God doesn't want me to do that type of stuff anymore. He wants me to work for Him. But yeah, dude, this stuff is on par, bro. Like, it doesn't get better than this. I've been smoking a long time. A long time. It doesn't get better. And here's the thing is, you can have good looking weed. It can look this good and taste like shit, smoke like shit, and not get you high. I'm serious. I've seen it. It's happened. They don't flush it right. It burns. It burns when you smoke it. This company knows what they're doing. The plant is flushed. Like this one is really purple. That means they got a lot of CO2. There's a lot of carbon in the air. That's what that means. But I'm doing land racing, so I'll be searching for seeds as well when I travel. I follow a YouTube channel called Strain Hunters. They look for land race seeds. So that's, you know, I study plants and animals. I'll be studying chasing weather. I'll be studying plants and animals. I'm gonna be developing apps with people in mind, companies in mind. That will be able to identify these things and help me understand what it is, you know, that I'm looking at, and for people to learn and do research as well. But land racing, so you know, strain hunters, they go around the world. They're from Amsterdam. You know, they've been doing this since the 90s, you know, because Amsterdam was legal. You know, weed was legal then, you know, in the coffee shops. They've been doing this a long time. They've been traveling the world looking for land races. So, you know, people migrate, you know, all these ancient peoples, you know, they move from one land, from one country to another, you know, around the world. And, you know, they keep the marijuana with them, you know, they move, you know, with the family, the seeds come with them, you know. Well, what happens is they plant the seeds, you know, and they grow, they harvest. Well, what happens when they naturally, the pollen, you know, the seeds move on. Well, they leave. So what happens is the weed grows naturally. And there's five major flora zones in the world that we know of, that we fish. Even fisheries, the fish rely on them. The ocean, our whole ecosystem, our whole global ecosystem relies on these 5 places. And if you watch Strain Hunters, you know, you really learn that, like, these, with weed, you know what I mean, and plants, you know, they have terpenes and all these different alkaloids, you know, chemicals and stuff, and we know that a lot of this stuff is good for us, you know, and there's things in there's medicine in the marijuana that we still don't know all about it yet. But what I'm trying to get at is, if you watch Strain Hunters, right, they specifically found out that the more they traveled, the more they found different land races, different marijuana from, you know, different regions of the earth. They have different colors, they have different smells, they have different highs, they have different you know, they heal you in different ways. You know, so you know, the medicine goes to different pathways in your mind and your head and your brain, you know. So it's important that I study these, you know, and I'm making it aware for people. So, But yeah, this marijuana, I always keep the biggest buds for last. I don't know what it is. I enjoy it. I really enjoy breaking it up, smelling it, looking at it. That's part of it. That's part of the whole experience. Um, and also too, Nirvana gives you more weed. I mentioned in other videos, you get more weed if you buy the pre-rolls, but you get almost 5 grams for the same price instead of 3.5. So you're getting basically another gram of this for the same if you buy the pre-rolls, and it's already pre-rolled. But I enjoy breaking it up. I enjoy smelling it and stuff. And a lot of times I mentioned too is when they pre-roll it, it's a machine that pre-rolls it. So the joints are always, not always, but a lot of times they're packed too tight. I don't care for how they smoke, and also I don't really care for element papers. I smoke these. I have to. I can't smoke blunts anymore. It's not that I'm bougie. I mean, if a friend shows up with a blunt, there's certain ones I can hit. If it's a backwood, certain backwoods I can smoke. They're not so harsh. But I can't do tobacco, man. Yeah, see, this weed it's cured right. You just, pinch it and it crumbles, and it's not too dry either. And here's the thing with weed. I watch people break up weed. They break up the weed to dust. Don't do that. That's why your joints burn like shit. Don't break it up to dust, man. This is good enough, just like that. When you break it up to dust, you burn it, it doesn't have no way for air to get through, man. You gotta have it kind of fluffy, you know what I mean, for it to burn nice. It'll burn slower actually too if you do this. You get better hits, you'll get a better buzz, you'll get a higher buzz, a better buzz. I've been doing this a long time, man. Your boy, I'm gonna be 40 soon, man. Listen, man, I'm gonna be 40 soon. A decade flies by, bro. These last 5 years flew by. Look, I was just, man, 28. At 28, I was just thinking what am I... When you hit 28, that's when your world really hits you. 25 is when it starts slowing down. You start realizing, okay, what am I doing in my life, 28, you better figure it out. 28 is when you decide is when you're either gonna be somebody or you're not. Your 30s is when you make it. Is when you make most men that are rich, by the way, most millionaires, just so you know, that have done it themselves, don't become millionaires until their 40s, just so you know. Henry Ford, all those guys, you know what I mean? They didn't get their big breakthrough until they're in the 30s and 40s. Why? Because in their 20s, they were learning everything. They didn't, in their 30s, they were more wise. They were able to put everything they learned from their 20s into play, And then in the 40s, that's when they really were seasoned, you know what I mean? They were able to, everything that they've been working on in their, 30s, they were able to, monopolize and expand. And look at Mentora. This is when the cats are doing that and they lay on you just to hang out. She does that. She'll lay there. She'll just lay there like that for 20 minutes. She's weird. It's a mom, I guess. Dude, it's crazy. But yeah, she just hangs on my sock like that all the time. She'll sit there for an hour, no problem. Just hangs out, stares at me. I know, girl. Yeah, remember, she was just dead, man. Not even 3 days ago, she was dead. All those cats. Listen, I've gave a lot of them CPR. I had to bring a lot of them back. I brought a couple of them back just to give them fucking medicine, just so they'd die in fucking, so they wouldn't die in pain. Crazy to me. I'm excited for this joint. You can tell it's really high grade weed. I'm excited, really excited. So, these papers really threw me off. I told her to grab me the small ones, right? She's like, yeah, I got you. That is not a small paper, bro. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't realize they had those. Tells you, you know, I always buy the ones, you know. People are creatures of habit. We all like habits. We all like routines. It's in our nature. So I don't need that no more. I like that flashlight, man. This flashlight's a great flashlight. Lights-All makes good flashlights. It's been good to me. It's almost as good as the military ones. It's high grade. It really is. It's really high grade. I like it. It doesn't charge the phones as well, though. It says it charges phones. That's a lie. Don't buy Don't buy this Lights-All flashlight and expect to get a good charge out of your phone for it. It's not gonna happen. The only one that works good like that is that one I showed you guys, which is somewhere. It's probably my backpack. You gotta get off my sock, girl. I'll be right back, people. Alright. Got the Bible, the good old bib books. We gotta read John. Put this in the drawer. The only thing I smoked was this wax today so far. So much I got left. I took 3 hits so far. So that's how much I got. 3 big hits, by the way, too. That's how much I got left so far out of 3 big hits since I've been home. So, and this is a gram. You know, this will be gone. This will last me tomorrow until the next day. So today's Monday. So Tuesday, this will be gone most likely. Tuesday, Wednesday. As long as I'm smoking flower, you know, I need to cut down. But also I don't smoke as much when I'm with Margarita. When Ma goes around, I don't smoke that much. I really don't. You can ask her. Cause she smokes with me too. And when we're together, we don't smoke all day. We smoke once in the morning. If we feel like it. A lot of times we don't even smoke in the morning. We don't smoke until like afternoon. We wait till the afternoon. Some mornings we do. Some mornings we wake right up. We want to smoke. That's what we like to do sometimes. Just some other mornings are not like that. But with her, man, I don't smoke as much. I'm with her. I'm enjoying my time with her. I enjoy my day with her. I enjoy being sober with her. And so does she. She enjoys it as well. So I've been smoking a lot more with her not around. Extremely a lot more. 'Cause I miss her, 1. 2, I've been grinding, grind. Body wise too, you know, I'm working out every day. I'm stretching, doing the yoga every day. You know, I got, you know, you don't get. Listen, man, this doesn't come free. You hear me? That's not free. That doesn't come free. None of this comes free. It's hard work. It's I'm sore, you know, all the time, 24/7. I'm sore. Because I don't stop. So this helps with that. Jesus does it, period. Jesus helps me, period. But God doesn't want you to be in pain. God doesn't want you to suffer. God put this on the earth for a reason. God gave us these things for a reason, to use these things. We have to eat to intake, right? We have to eat to nourish ourselves. This nourishes your mind, your brain, your spirit. You hear me? Your soul. And you don't even have a spirit anyways until you're born of the Spirit. You have a spirit of evil, but you're not born of the spirit of good until you're born of Jesus. That's facts. That's the truth. The only way to be born of Jesus is to ask forgiveness and ask Him to come in your heart. Because then it's not you that is living, it is Him that is in your heart. I'm looking for my blue lighter. I don't know where it went, so I'm just going to use a torch. I just got to grab a ashtray, which I've been using the flower bowl ashtrays. I've been using the flower bowl ashtrays. I had my sticks on it. I gotta move some stuff around. Alright, be right with you guys. Apologize. I gotta get some aluminum foil. Aluminum. It just reminded me of fucking Futurama. Aluminum. The fucking the dude with the fucking little things. Aluminum. You always do that weird ass noise. I used to love watching Futurama with my mom. My mom, before my stepdad got really abusive. Oh no, he was always abusive. I don't know why I said that, but I guess I meant to say before my mom really allowed my stepdad to walk all over her, you know, and completely kill her soul, her loving spirit. Which the evil one did it. You know, my mom would come home from work, and at 9 o'clock, Futurama would play on TV, and that was one of my favorite times growing up. With my mom, that was the only time I really got with my mom, peacefully, was watching Futurama. So I actually plan on I'm gonna be torrenting the Futurama, as all the episodes, every single one. I'm gonna torrent. I'm gonna download, put it on my hard drive, which I'm about to do tonight. That's another thing. I gotta get a hold of Margarita, email her, and ask her what movies she wants. I gotta download all this stuff. You know, we're gonna be out on sea. You know, out on the ocean. You know, there's gonna be nights with the family, kids. You know, people. You know, we're gonna want to have a movie night on the boat. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a giant floating fort. You know, so I want to be able to have movies. You know. And I don't want to Netflix them. I don't want to stream them. I want them torrented. I want them downloaded already on my hard drive. So that's what I'm going to do. I already have a lot already. I got a 4 terabyte hard drive I'm attempting to fill up. I think 4 terabytes of movies is enough. I can always buy more storage, you know. So, which is all these things, you know, I gotta figure all these things out, you know, I gotta get all these systems. That's what we're about. That's why I'm up right now. During the day, that's why I gotta do this routine during the day. I'm working, you know what I mean? I gotta do things with people, you know, I have to make money, that type of stuff, you know, I'm out and about. I don't have time to sit and do all this research and study and stuff, so this is why I do this at night. This is why I do this. I've done this a long time. for years now I've done this. But I did it because of service. I did it because of other reasons. Now I'm doing it because for Jesus, you know, I'm doing it for God, for the mission, for Life Stories Perspectives, and I'm doing it for Margarita, you know, and for everyone else. Because this isn't my channel. This is God's channel. This is Margarita's channel. You know, this is the people. Because we're going to be discussing things that the people want to discuss about. You know, I'm hoping you guys comment and start talking about what it is that needs to be spoken about. You know, important topics, you know. Places that you guys think I should go visit, you know, those type of things. So, I got the aluminum foil, which it's usually I folded a different way. I don't know why I folded it that way. I'm still waking up. I gotta drink coffee and smoke. I'm not all there. I'm not normal. I don't have my normal drug intake. Really just caffeine and sugar. Caffeine, sugar, and drugs. Marijuana. I'm excited. I really am. I was gonna smoke some wax and then this, but every time I smoke that wax when I have a nauseous stomach, it makes me feel like shit. I'm hungry. Alright. I'm excited. Whoa. What I like to do is I like to like burn it a little bit and then push the hots in into the bud a little bit. It burns it. When you do it that way, it lights evenly. And I laugh when people smoke, they drag on it. When you drag on it, that's how you get it running. It's good weed. It's smooth. It's not harsh. Yeah, it's really smooth. It almost has like a lemony taste to it. It really reminds me of like a lemon haze. Definitely has a lemon balm kind of flavor, balmy flavor. Yeah, it's good. I'm already ready to put it out. I got a good buzz already, and like I only hit. I mean, I have most of the joints still. I've only hit a couple times. My stomach's going crazy too, though. That's why I'm thinking about putting it out. I gotta get some food in me. Some fluids. I haven't done that in a while. You know it's good weed. It's not harsh weed if you can breathe it up your nose like that. Alright. I got a buzz. I got a real good buzz. Afghan Punch. Highly recommended, for sure. I would definitely buy that strand again. I'm actually really happy, very impressed with it. I smoked half a joint. I'm good. I'm coasting. And that was all the little buds, you know what I mean? I still have all the big buds still in. This, honestly, if I had margarita with me, 2 joints. 1 for the morning, 1 for the night. If we're with friends, you know, moving around a lot, maybe 3, you know what I mean? Because, you know, you're moving, you know what I mean? The stuff wears off, you know? But, yeah, 2-3 joints, man, of this, you're good all day. Serious, you're good all day. It's crazy. I like the Nirvana, man, I'm telling you. The taste is there, too. That's the thing, is it's so hard to find weed that is good quality, that doesn't burn, and it's harsh, and it has a taste. Like, this shit makes my mouth water. Like, when you're eating, like, the best food you ever had, you want, like, I want to light that back up just because it tastes so good. I'm like, that's part of it, man. That's part of the whole experience. That's why I buy the Nirvana. And it's crazy is their prices are affordable prices. They're just, they cost just as much for the other shit. And it's nowhere as good. This company knows what they're doing, man, and they're putting it in glass jars. They're taking a loss. Tells you something. They're not in it for the money. They're in it for the purpose, the purity. They're in it for what it does to them, for how it helps people. That's why I buy it. I have their hat. I got a hat from them. That hat you see in my videos, it's a Richardson hat. And it has numbers on it, which the numbers are significant to me. 72. I study numbers, which I can't wait to start doing those videos, making those videos. So we're going to read John, finish John. We're going to read all of John until it's done. We're on chapter 5, so we're going to read chapter 6. Well, actually, I think we're going to finish chapter 5. I don't think we finished chapter 5. So, this Old Testament. I even have the New Testament tabbed out. So, just flip it, go right to it. You can see how big the New Testament is compared to the Old Testament. Look at this. Like, the Old Testament, old as fuck, and like, look how big that is compared to the New. The New Testament wasn't written until after Jesus' resurrection, and it's crazy because the people, the 4 main people that wrote, they're the ones that were with Jesus and were like, what the fuck? Like, and they went through all the scriptures, they're like, okay, how is this possible? All the stories lined up. It blows my mind that all these stories, right? All these different people were influenced by the spirit of love, right? In different regions, different times, eras, and everything lines up. That's God. There's no way. And there's books missing, and my nose itches, and I'm about to pick it in front of you guys. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna take this key. Oh, yeah. It's itching on the inside of it. Driving me crazy. Alright. So we read the intro to John. But write in your Bible, journal in it. It's okay to have, look, bro, I spray painted this Bible, you know? I spray painted this Bible. It's got real silver in it, real copper, you know what I mean? Well, that's stickers all over it, which they're starting to peel, so I'm gonna get some clear tape and put over it. You know, I get stickers all the time from the dispensary or when I travel. Like, you know, when me and Margarita I proposed to Margarita in Silver Lake. We went to Port View, Pentwater, Michigan. I was looking at sailboats down there. They got a bunch of sailboats down there. So, I might end up having a spot when I come up to Michigan to Silver Lake Sand Dunes and visit, because that's where I'll be coming once a year. I plan on doing an event that way in Lake Michigan, and in Michigan as well, because, you know, I'm from Michigan. And Silver Lake Sand Dunes is the most beautiful place, in my opinion, in the eastern United States of America, and the eastern hemisphere, or western hemisphere, I guess you would call it. It's the most beautiful place, in my opinion, as far as fresh water goes, and it's crazy to think that the Silver Lake Sand Dunes were man-made, by accident. So what happened is you got Lake Michigan, right? And you have all these trees along the coast. Well, what happened was in I can't wait to take you guys so you guys can see it. It's better when you see it. But when Chicago had the big fire in, you know, the late 1800s, you know, before the 1900s, it wiped out a lot. I mean, Chicago's huge, you know, it wiped out all of Chicago. Well, they needed resources, you know, and they needed wood. Well, white pine is a really good wood to work with. And it's a very nice wood, you know. It looks nice. It's easy to work with, and it was abundant all along the coast of Michigan. So, you know, if you look at a map, the left side of Michigan, you know, you got the hand like this, right? You know, all of the side of Michigan right here, right? You got Lake Michigan, Chicago's on this side. They literally came over to Michigan and they bought all the land up over here. All the rich people in Chicago bought all the land up, okay? And they logged it. They took all the wood over to Chicago and they started building Chicago. All of the wood, anything in Chicago, all the pine in Chicago came from Michigan. Well, what happened is now that they cut all those trees down, the sand is blowing up from the water, you know. The trees were a natural blockade. It was a natural wall, a defense for the wind, you know, the sand to blow up. Well, what is happening now is the sand, since it's got 100 years now of 100 years of this, you know, the tree's not there, the sand is blowing up, it's been piling up and piling up and piling up. Well, now you got like a desert there. It's literally like right here on Michigan, on the state of Michigan. They call it the Sleepy Bear Sand Dunes. They got a bunch of different names for them. You know, just in Silver Lake, there's a stretch of like 3 miles going from, you know, from the inland, you know, inland basically to Lake Michigan. And then it stretches like miles all the way down the side, the coast of Michigan. But what's crazy is the sand is so high, it's blowing up so high, and it's starting to take over houses. So there used to be a bay there. Silver Lake used to be a bay. It used to be part of Michigan Lake. And what happened was the sand blew up and cut off the water. So it's basically a man-made lake on accident, in a sense. And my dad said back in the day when he was young, it used to be really, really deep. Like, so deep you would... He said you could walk, it was really, really shallow, and then it just dropped. He said it was so deep there in that bay, like, there was, you know, like, people, like, parents wouldn't, like, would be scared if, you know, your kids went down there. That's how deep, you know, and then nobody would go down there. Now you can literally almost walk across the lake, you know, in a sense. Last time I went there, you could walk really, really far. It was crazy. And then even in my time since I've been there, my dad said he's watched the houses. The houses used to go all the way around the lake. Well, you know, the sand is blowing and blowing and blowing inland, and it's covering the houses. It's literally going right over them. And the one house that I grew up when my dad took me there on vacations all the time with my stepsisters, you know, and whatnot, and other family members, there was always the one house that they had a big bulldozer that would push the sand, you know, and push it. That house ain't there no more. Now there's the house before it. It's a lighthouse, and they have a bulldozer now. And their house is for sale. Who's gonna buy that house? Why would you buy that house? You know, the sand is gonna take it over. And it's crazy too, is the trees. So when you're walking on the dunes, they have half of the dunes is reserved for natural wildlife. You will actually see bears in there. You will see deer, all types of stuff if you spend enough time up there. The other part of it is closed off for off-roading. It's the biggest off-road park in the state of Michigan, let alone the eastern United States. It's the biggest. If you want to go to if you want to ride sand dunes and stuff like that, you got to go out west. You got to go to the desert. You know what I'm saying? You got to go to, you know, the dry climate out towards the Rockies. You know, so if you're in New York, Maine, you know, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Florida, all those places, you know what I mean? Virginia, Kentucky. Most people go to Silver Lake if they want to ride the dunes, if they have sand rails, you know, four-wheelers, that type of stuff. And they all go there. And most of the Chicago elite, so all the wealthy families that, you know, bought all that property up to buy all the logging, you know, they have all that old money, you know, all those old rich people, rich families, you know, that migrated from Europe, you know what I mean, that came over here, and, you know, all those, you know, even the government, you know what I mean, the country that we live in, you know, people that have, you know, families that are into the government, you know what I mean, all that stuff, all that old money, they're all sugar shacks. That's what they are, all along the fucking western coast of Michigan. They're sugar shacks. That's all they are. They're $1 million fucking places that are empty, and these people from Chicago literally just come over there to, you know, swing and throw big parties and, you know, whatever they want, you know, control, influence, you know, but that's what they are. They're just sugar shacks, you know. Good luck affording any of them. If you can, by all means, I'm excited. That's awesome for you. You know what I mean? Good luck getting them too, because most of them aren't for sale. Most of those places, you know, they've been in the family, and they're gonna be in the family. They're not going nowhere, you know. So, but they're beautiful homes. They're beautiful. Listen, the western coast of the western coast of Michigan in the United States, one of the most beautiful places I've been all around the world. I've been to many places. I'm going to take you guys to all these places. I'm excited to take you guys to all these new places. So, we'll get to read into John. My stomach's growling like a motherfucker. I'm waiting for that coffee to cool down. Like I said, my talks are it's life stories, perspectives, man. That's why I call it life. They're gonna be all over the place, and I don't really care. You know, when I do start making edited videos, then I'll, you know, on topics that, are important, then they won't be so all over the place. So we read even on the Sabbath, that was chapter 5, but we didn't finish chapter 5. We're gonna finish chapter 5 and I'll cut off the video because it's already 50 minutes, it says. So it says, what the Father does, the Son does. It says, so Jesus explained himself at length. I'm telling you this straight. The Son can't independently do a thing. Only what he sees the Father doing. What the Father does, the Son does. The Father loves the Son and includes him in everything he is doing. But you haven't seen the half of it yet. For in the same way that the Father raises the dead and creates life, so does the Son. The Son gives life to anyone he chooses. Neither he nor the Father shuts anyone out. The Father handed all authority to judge over to the Son, so that the Son will be honored equally with the Father. Anyone who dishonors the Son dishonors the Father, for it was the Father's decision to put the Son in the place of honor. That's why Jesus says, if you're not with me, you're against me. So, if you simply haven't asked forgiveness, and have him in your heart, you're evil. My dad's evil. Everyone that's in my family that doesn't have Jesus in their heart is evil. That's why they're not in my life. And that's why they left. Because when I spoke the truth, I spoke Jesus, and I showed them my life has changed, even before when I was doing, and I don't want to get into the whole, listen, man, they're out of my life because they didn't want to deal with the truth themselves. So it says, it's urgent that you listen carefully to this. Anyone here who believes what I am saying right now and aligns himself with the Father, who has in fact put me in charge, has at this very moment the real lasting life and is no longer condemned to be an outsider. This person has taken a giant step from the world of dead to the world of the living. It's urgent that you get this right. The time has arrived, right now, when dead men and women will hear the voice of the Son of God, and hearing will come alive, just as the Father has life in himself. He has conferred on the Son life in himself, and he has given him the authority, simply because he is the Son of Man, to decide and carry out matters of judgment. It says, don't act so surprised at all this. The time is coming when everyone dead and buried will hear his voice. Those who have lived the right way will walk out into a resurrection life. Those who have lived the wrong way into a resurrection of judgment. I can't do a solitary thing on my own. I listen, then I decide. You can trust my decision because I'm not out to get my own way, but only to carry out orders. If I were simply speaking on my own account, it would be an empty, self-serving witness. But an independent witness confirms me, the most reliable witness of all, Jesus. Furthermore, you all saw and heard John, and he gave expert and reliable testimony about me, didn't he? But my purpose is not to get your vote, and not to appeal to mere human testimony. I'm speaking to you this way so that you will be saved. John was a torch, blazing and bright, and you were glad enough to dance for an hour or so in his bright light. But the witness that really confirms me far exceeds John's witness. It's the work the Father gave me to complete. The very tasks I go about completing them confirm the Father in fact sent me. The Father who sent me confirmed me. And you missed it. You never heard his voice. You never saw his appearance. There is nothing left in your memory of his message because you do not take his message seriously. Nobody is reading the Bible or remembering it because they don't love it. You must love Jesus to remember, what it is he is saying. When you love a girl or a guy, you remember their phone number, you remember their birthday, you remember their name, their eye color, their scent, their smell, their taste. It's the same thing. Jesus said, for those who love me that have not seen me, you are blessed. Blessed are those that love him that have not seen him. I know I haven't seen him, but I love him. I carry him everywhere I go. Not in here mentally, but in here in my heart. You gotta love him, man. You gotta love him just like you love a person. A family member, a father, a mother, a daughter, or a son, a cousin, niece, or nephew. It says you have your heads in your Bibles constantly because you think you will find eternal life there, but you miss the forest for the trees. These scriptures are all about me, and here I am, standing right before you, and you aren't willing to receive me, the life you say you want. I'm not interested in crowd approval. And do you know why? Because I know you and your crowds. I know that love, especially God's love, is not on your working agenda. I came with the authority of my Father, and you either dismiss me or avoid me. If another came, acting self-important, you would welcome him with open arms. How do you expect to get anywhere with God when you spend all your time jockeying for position with each other, ranking your rivals, and ignoring God? But don't think I'm going to accuse you before my Father. Moses, in whom you put so much stock, and your accuser is your accuser. If you believed, you really believed what Moses said, you would believe me. He wrote of me. If you won't take seriously what he wrote, how can I expect you to take seriously what I speak of? So that's chapter 5, you know. And it's important that you understand what he's saying, you know. He's saying that take the time for those that are serious. I'm a very serious person. If you want to get somewhere in your life, you must be serious. How you expect for people to follow you and to believe in you and listen to you, right? If you're not taking your life serious and you have nothing to show for. That's why actions speak louder than words. That's why love is an action. It is a verb. Faith is action. It is doing things. I can say I love my daughter, or I can say I love my wife, but if I don't do anything to perpetuate, to help them better themselves and move, you know, in a higher spiritual light, then there's no reason for me to even be alive. There's only one purpose in life, to become happy, to become truly pursuing and to a life that is successful and go somewhere in the eternal, and that is through Jesus. And that is by leading everyone to Jesus. I mean, you can learn everything in life, but none of it matters if you don't use it for love. Faith without works is dead. That's what the Bible says. So, it's very important you lead people to the cross. And Jesus doesn't say directly in the Bible that you earn these crowns, but you learn as you read and study that you earn 2 crowns in this life here now. The first crown you earn is simply just by asking forgiveness, believing in Jesus. That's your first crown. You earn your second crown as a king or queen when the real deal, when you lead another person to him. When you lead the sheep that are astray as a good shepherd, a loving shepherd, you lead them, you lead one. I would die for one sheep. Jesus says I will die, I will go off and die. I leave the 99 sheep for the one. So, because he knows that one is the one that will love him and lead him and love, you know, will help him. So, yeah, that's morning Bible study, you know, that's Monday morning Bible study, you know, for Life Stories Perspectives. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, you know, clip out the video, upload it, which is going to take a while. I'm going to prep and get everything ready so we can start doing, look up, car parts. I would love to look up boat stuff, but, we got to get this truck running. So, I got to really figure out, and double check and make sure, you know, the parts that I have, in mind, price-wise, I got a ballpark, you know, I got to figure out not only the price of everything, but I got to make sure everything is going to work properly, and go together, in theory, right? Because I'm taking parts from different year models, and from, you know, the same company, and I'm going to be, you know, making my own, you know, system in a sense, my own drivetrain. that will hopefully, if I do things right, will be reliable and efficient, and should be able to get better gas mileage than the stock system. Which, all of this is not only going to be nice for myself, driving down to South, but this is also a wedding gift as well. So, I got to get it painted as well too. There's a lot of work. So, yeah, please subscribe, join. Whatever, all that stuff helps. Will help. Help with the wedding gift as well. I would take some of that money and put it into the gift for Margarita because she deserves it. She is taking care of children that aren't even her children, and these families are, they're overworking these women, or they're not even paying them minimum wage, and it's sad that these families are going to all these ski resorts right now with their children, right, and they're dumping them on Margarita. They're not even enjoying family time with their family. Crazy to me. But I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.